I think discipline, nurturing your own talent. You should have a responsibility for your own talent as well.
Must.
I came across talented people over the years.
Right.
And you would hear about those who didn't get through in life because they didn't have the right attitude. You understand? Yeah. And you will see those who get through in life because they see they have like a tunnel vision. You understand?
I correct word, tunnel vision. The harder in a scope there, and that's what they aiming to.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if they grew up in a neighborhood where it's guns and drugs, or if they grew up in a rich neighborhood or whatever, it doesn't matter the environment.
Yeah.
So we talk about people who could see our talent and help nurture it, but it comes down to the individual now.
Yeah.
When they're of age, if they could be disciplined themselves to nurture. Yeah. And if they see it as if they notice their own talent too, sometimes they don't notice it. You understand? And they start to talk about it. You can remember when we was coaching football.
Yeah.
I remember that when Kamani, I think, he was just, he now started training.
Yeah, he now came.
Now coming.
Now came.
And he with the right group, you understand? And we stand up watching.
Yeah.
You understand? And then all of a sudden we recognize his talent.
Yeah.
He says, see that man there?
Yeah.
Watch him. Watch how he hitting in a tackle.
Yeah.
Watch how he keeping control. You understand? He's small, but yet he's strong.
IQ, yeah. Strong, he have a good IQ towards football. You know,
and I think the only thing that could hold him back, and I remember, before I go there, I remember telling him, hey, you notice what you have?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know what you have?
Yeah.
Because you have to put that in their brain first now. Let them understand what they have, because they have a responsibility.
They have that's so true, eh? That's so true.
Now,
responsibility.
It's for he now to, and the parents, and hopefully his friends too, to help him stay on the right path. Because I'm sure soon, in the next few years, he could get to play for Trinidad and even bigger clubs.
Yeah. A few of them from our school where we are, and you know, as you say, you know, for me, we just have to try our best to let them know, hey, this is where you have, this is where you could go, you know, try as much, and as you said, you know, it's up to them to really follow through with it, because you can't do it for them. You know, I'm not skillful like that, I can't do it for them, but you know, they can do it.
That is be frustrating, you know?
Yeah, it does.
When you see a real talented person, and whether it's in music or whatever, and yet they're just content to just sit back and allow life to pass by.
Yeah. And it's something that, you know, there's I don't want to say a window in certain things like sports and stuff, you know, there's a window that you want to make sure and get in.
Yeah, there's a window.
Because you could be the greatest in Trinidad and Tobago and extent, you know, internationally. Or you could play over 60, whatever, small thing at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because you miss out the opportunity where you, and not just that, remember, when you do something like this, like Dwight York and these fellas could lend assistance by just their experience and come in and speak to these youths, because they know so much that could help, you know, because they experience things that some of us will never get to experience, and you know, you could give a little guidance.
Yeah.
I remember Rian Moore come and spoke, you wasn't there, but he came and spoke in school, and it was, I am not no footballer, but I listen to this man like, this man preaching here, because it's something that, you know, I really love football, but you're just listening because there's so much quality of what is being said, and I hope that these youths and them grasp it, because we could do it. We could do it, but
the youths and them was listening when he was talking.
No, and remember, this kind of regiment kind of style, you know. So he controlled them really well, and the listen. But you could tell that not everybody had that focus to, because everybody asking how much money, and how much money, because remember he was at Canada at some point, and but questions, I looking for questions like, what was your regiment like, but it did come up.
Eventually it come up.
Yeah. So he said,
the first question is always be about money, I wonder why.
They like to play the teammates and this and how much goals they score, but I remember him saying something, that he had to traverse between Grandy and I think I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's out of Grandy to be able to train and with a club and stuff like that in the earlier days, right? Probably secondary school and stuff. And when you listen to him, you can tell as you said, tunnel, where he's going. And he had to stick to it, whether, some days you're hungry, you don't know. I sure if you speak to him, some days I coming home hungry. I'm not sure, but, you understand what I'm saying? Not every day will be easy, but we have to have our drive, boy. And I believe if it's 20 children, 2 to 5 had our drive. This way I'm going, boy.
So true. And I remember that even in the teams that we help coach, we sometimes just have to go to these senior talented players and say, hey, the other players looking up to you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And that what young people tend to have to realize too, that they're not too young to be a role model.
Yeah.
And if they recognize that.
That's relevant. I think that's something that a lot of youths miss. And if they are role models, sometimes they don't even recognize that role model for the wrong thing. If you look at school and stuff, you see that, but they don't recognize it. You had that ability, don't matter your age. Sometimes you had that impact, so persons will tend to follow you, and you had that opportunity to lead persons, and straight and narrow, as they might call it, that way, but. That was a nice time though.
Yeah.
If you remember that time,
I can remember that time. I wish I could have continued the time, but don't know what kind of thing happened.
That was an amazing time with us guys, if only you know.
If maybe in the future, if we could find a way to even open our own club or something, to
and not just for sports, not just in wherever sport it might be, but just to be able to give the youth something here. And I think, that drive, I think you more so had that drive, to guide and nurture them, and that's something I don't know how much people doing it.
But in not long, I looking for some people like that.
Yeah, that's...
And as I highlighted, it doesn't have to be in sports, it could be in anything. Anything, because that's what brentbalfourproductions is about, you understand? And I looking for a team, a core team, who willing to sacrifice their time or their finance or just according to you, that calling, you understand, to help out those in society, help the poor, help the rich, help the talented, the not so talented. So if you want to be part of that, cheers to that, boy.
Cheers to that.
Last thing. What will you tell the young people out there about nurturing your talent, or who even loan your talent to? That's a big scene now, because some people out there could recognize they are so talented and take advantage of what they're doing. Simple thing like boy or girl good in maths.
Right.
All your friends want them to do the homework, that kind of way.
But to youths, I would say we don't recognize it, but life's short. Life real short. And I know persons will still miss it by saying life is short, but if God bless you with our talent, He still give you the choice. Even though He give you a talent, He give you a choice. You use it or don't use it. And our talent is not just to go out there and be the best at what what you could do. Your talent could lead you so far and places that you never intended to do. And not only that, a bigger picture is your talent could impact millions of people. You know, people want to be like people because of just the talent. So your talent is not just your ability to be able to do something and do it extraordinarily well. Your talent is something that you could use to assist society in becoming a better place. Because your talent is the way you get your foot inside. That is for me. You know, so use your talent, whatever it might be, and use it to impact society in a positive way, and allow yourself to reap the benefits of what that could afford your talent. You know, a good feeling is like you write essay. I'm sure you remember when you write essay.
Yeah.
You
common
remember
entrance
common entrance back in the day. So common entrance.
Yeah.
That feeling when you heard that you passed for that school, only you could explain. I might be able to understand, but only you could explain how you feel at that point. And that feeling is a good explanation, or a good example of how, if you stick with your talent, when you get there, that is that feeling like, wait, all this hard work, well, you know, I could now work more, but I get there, all that hard and that struggle and that listening, and it's not always easy, and people on your back and this, and I want to eat something, you know, I have to work on my ways, I don't have the right attitude, I have to fix a few things. All that is payoff. And anything in life, anybody who is successful can tell you that is persistence, hard work, that they're there. Nobody can tell you, yeah, oh, I just wake up here, you know, in this nice thing, and this is me. Yeah, I sure what you're doing here is not easy, but hard work. So that is my advice for them, you know, and they could look for you. Right, Brent?
Yeah. You understand?
Real approachable guy, you know.
Yeah. Maybe I might have a little bad face sometimes.
Yeah.
What you seeing? What? You know? But yeah, I couldn't say that advice any more clearer than what you did there. You understand? Or even better than what you just highlighted.
Yeah.
And watch me, that statement what you just said is like a amen statement, you understand? Yeah. Because you said a lot of truths in it, and hopefully a young person out there watching this video would see, you understand, and would take it in and say, hey, I have to get serious, because it hit the nail on its head. Life is short, you know, and there are many. They said the most, is it the richest or the most talented area is the grave? You understand?
Yeah.
Because
most talented.
Because
a lot of talent go there.
Yeah.
Only
it's the
few come
grave,
out.
and they can't come back out. You know, so
true.
It's to take advantage while you have it.
Oh, and another thing, as you said, I now remember something.
Yeah.
You're going through something as a youth, look for somebody you look up to. Don't be afraid, you know, youth say, I don't talk and thing, and I fighting this by myself. No, look for somebody, you know, look up to. Hey, Brent, this now, I just ain't seen my way just so, you know. I ain't feeling this no more, what you think? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The real youth don't do that, you know. And sometimes they miss it. You remember Lyndon?
Yeah.
If only see Lyndon play, amazing. You know, and there's somebody who Brent also know as well, and you know, these are the people, you know, you gotta try to grab sometimes. Sometimes it's like that, you want to grab them by the shit, might come here, you know, but you know, if you could get through to them, you know, in that way, boy, I honestly believe that. And I just tell myself, but like nobody's listening to you, boy, because you know you're talking so much.
Yeah. And they ain't see no progress really.
Yeah, but I would say, the other day I was going on driving along the Toko Road, and I saw Antonio Bunbury, remember him? Short, red skin. Yeah, he had plaits going to school. The mouth was real big.
Possibly.
Right. He came and played with us a few times. He used to come and play with us at SEC there.
Yeah.
Right? Real talented footballer. school and thing, you know, he wasn't always, he wasn't 100%, but anyway, that youth man see me, talking to me, so you wouldn't believe that impact it have on me as an individual to see, I mean, I might not be, I probably wasn't able to tell him, hey, sit down and nurture your talent 100%, but I'm sure that something I see to him at some point, you know, he understand it, because at a point in time he said, so yeah, you know, the only reason I finished school is because of you, you know. And you tell me that I send you, man, what are you telling me? What are you telling me? But just not what he said, but why do you even know what I told? I can't tell you, but just the impact I saw I had on him there, that is what we need with the youths to be able to grab them. Sometimes it might be nothing serious and big, you tell them, and they might just do something for them.
Yeah.
They're hungry, oh, let's eat something.
Exactly.
And they might say, hey, boy, I didn't look at Brent so well. You know, simple little things like that. Sometimes little gestures is what could add. And you know that too, in being in a school environment and being with them in a football environment, it's two different things.
So true.
None of them will pass you nowhere.
So true.
Oh, Brent, what you seen? And I can't get a bounce. That is the window we had to use to get to them. That is the window. Because when they see in a school environment or they see in a different light, them looking at you like that and they're like, but in an environment, in their environment, and they say, hey, playing football with me, you treated me that way, I feel that's the environment for us to get them.
For example, Dupre, I saw him after he finished school. He was doing some hard work in Arima.
Right. And construction?
Construction.
Alright.
And he said, me, he said, sir. Shout
you are showing you.
During school now, I would see, what I would do, I would see he eating something. I would say, hey, give me some of that. You understand? He could say, oh God, sir, if he see me. Hey, do you understand? I mean, create that kind of little rapport. So now I see him now there. I say, where are they to eat? He said, boy, I'm not walking. No, I say, where you heading? Because he was walking now. I headed in the shop there, sir, to buy a little one, something to eat or some kind of thing. I say, what you gonna buy, a biscuit or something? Construction is working, you understand? And then I end up saying, all at 20, all something, you understand? But yeah,
those things go a long way.
The window is a big scene, and I really wish to see people like that make it in life, you understand?
Just be excited for them, you know, you're glad for them, and you're glad to be a part of it as well, you know, because you know the journey is not an easy one.
Exactly. But watch me, you have to keep at it, one way or the other. Sometimes it's be hard.
Most times it's a struggle.
It's a struggle. And people out there who are parents, if it's parents, if it's a teacher, if it's a coach, if you are just a leader in society, you know, keep at it in nurturing young people to become good. You understand?
It's our responsibility to, you know, the youth is the future, whether or not you like it. Yes, it's the future, and the will get mature, and you know, the thinking will change, you know. But sometimes, just as you telling them stick to it, you as a parent, you as a teacher, you as a whoever it is, you have to stick with it too, you know. You can't give up, you know. Because you can't tell them, you stick and fight, and the minute you find them and really following you, look at forget
Exactly.
You have to fight with it, but you have to fight with them too, and it doesn't be easy, but you have to fight with them because there's youths, and youths need guidance, whether or not you like it.
And it's easier to nurture somebody who is nurturing themselves already.
Easy pickings for you.
Easy pickings. You understand? Easy pickings. But anyway, we're wrapping up here. You understand? And Brian, it has been nice.
It was nice.
Podcast. You understand? Don't be a stranger now.
Let's go, man. Picking up sign, guys. Second there.
Alright. Yeah.